Introduction to GIS for beginners. In this video, I will be showing you vector and raster data types. But before we get on to that, I want to explain to you what the QGIS interface looks like. You know, in our last video, we walked through how to install our GIS application. And right now, let's get it loaded up to get to be familiar with the interface. So this is your QGIS software, all right, running on my local machine. Okay, and what we have here are just some quick tools and basic tools that you would need to run your QGIS software, to run your geospatial analysis. And over here at the left hand side, you have the browser panel, you have the layers panel. What we use the browser panel here is to navigate into our system to pull out the files we need to use on in our analysis. And once your file is added to the real estate, this open space here is called the real estate. Okay, or you can call it the working environment. Either ways, you are correct. And here is where you will see what you have added to the real estate or your working environment. And here we have our processing toolbox on the right hand side. Now, what you have on your screen may not look exactly like what is here on my screen. That's because these things, these widgets, you can call them widgets, they can be removed and they can be added, all right? Just like I did. So if you want to get these things added on your screen, you can just right click on any part of your screen, on any part of this menu bar, right? Right click on them and you can select, I think this is our layers panel. Then let me look for our browser panel. So we got this back, and every other thing you need to have on your screen, you can just play around to discover what these are. Also, a later part of our study, we'll get to see more functionalities with this software. So now let's head back to vector and raster. Here, GIS systems work with many types of data. We have popularly the vector data and the raster data. So the vector data is stored in series of X and Y's coordinate pairs inside the computer's memory. Vector data is used to represent points, lines, and areas. You can hear me call it points, lines, and polygon. And either ways, I'm correct. But there is a disparity between vector data types and raster data types. The vector data types are just points and their lines and their shapes, areas or polygons. But for the raster, they are pixelated, they are pixels in nature. They are basically an image files. And these image files are gotten, they have different sources. You could download them from the satellite images, Landsat, Sentinel, and also aerial photograph, drone shots, pictures, basically pictures. And the structure of raster data types are pixels, pixelated, just like what you see here. And if you zoom in, you begin to see small squares, small boxes, pixel boxes, all right, pixel elements. Okay, while this is an example of this is a polygon. Cora here is a point, and here is a line. So this is what it looks like, and I'm going to show us more of these in our software. So vector data is used to represent points, for example, towns, churches, schools, and what have you. Then lines are usually used to represent roads, rivers, streams, all right, railways, and what have you. Then polygons could now be administrative boundaries, counties, states, countries. So those are what we use polygons for. Don't get confused. when we say polygons, we are also referring to areas, just as we had here. All right. So I'll just look at the next slide. Then we will head over to our QGIS software to have a more practical experience about vector data. So the vector data has this structure. You can call it a feature here. It has two main structure. The geometry. The geometry now, with the geometry, you get to know if it's going to be a point, or if it's going to be a line, if it's going to be a polygon, just as we saw here, points, lines, and polygons, shapes, areas, you get. All right. Then on the other hand, we now begin to talk about the attributes. What information is being stored? Okay. For example, for a line vector data, you can have information about the length of the line and the name. If this is a river, the name of the river, the length of the river, and what have you. Then for points, you can store the name. Is it a school? What's the name of the school? And where is the school located? Which country? Which state? And many other information. And how many students are in the school. For the polygon, you can have information like the area. What is the perimeter? What is the area per square kilometer, per square meter? Where is it located? And many information like that. So that's basically what attributes stand for. So like I said before, vector, you can call it a feature, two basic structure, geometry, and the attribute. And the geometry stands for the shape now. Is it a point? Is it a line? Is it a polygon? Then the attributes are just the information contained in the file. Okay, and this is what this is a typical attributes table. Okay, this is the name of the point. If this is a point or a line or whatever it is, you can have fields that are containing information as it relates to the point. All right. And of course, there are different types of vector data. Okay, we can have them as shapefiles. I will show you a shapefile as we head over to the application. Also, vector data can exist as GeoJSON files, and many other kinds. Also, KML, that is Google Earth files, can also be represented as regards to vector data types. So right now, let's just head to our QGIS software and let's import a few vector files. All right, so we are back here, and if you want to add a file to if you want to add a vector data to your QGIS, you can simply come to layer and you head down to add layer. If you see here, we have different kinds of things we can add to the software, but we want to add a vector layer, right? So you can just go ahead to click on that, and please ensure that you set it at file, not any of these, all right? File, because it's in your local machine and you want to pull it out from there. Okay, so here is where you browse browse your computer to pull it out. Okay, I'll just go straight to my desktop so I do not get confused. So what I have here, I have a folder, and okay, they are zipped, but I think I want to unzip them. Okay, let me go ahead and unzip them locally first. Let me go ahead and unzip them locally first. All right, so we have it here right now, and if you open, you see these are how many files? These are 6 files that make up a simple shape file, but this is actually the most important. And when you pull in the one with the extension SHP, when you pull in the one with this extension, it takes with it the rest of these files. So if you import this, it's not going to work. If you import just this, it's not going to work. This is the one you get to import, and the rest of them, they are members of a single shapefile, and they make up the shapefile. Okay, so let's do that right away. So we are back to, so let me refresh that. I think I should just go back from the beginning. Let me close it out and try it again. I'm browsing my system, and there it is. Okay, it's not there yet. Okay, this is the folder. Oh, I didn't get it all along. So, and there it is. It has the SHP extension, and I'm opening it, and you click on add, and there we go. We have, this is actually a polygon shapefile. Okay. In our next video, we are going to talk about raster data type. See you in the next video.